What's up, everybody? You know, you can see up here I've got a couple of DeviantArt messages or entries, if you will, by Louis the Hedgehog. Or as you can see, shortened up there as to by LTH. And these are things you can find in various groups at the DA. One is a conversation he had with someone named Siphon or something like that. Siphon. I'll provide the link down below. And then the other is basically debating gotcha arguments, volume 1, as he calls it. But the other one is a conversation he had with Siphon or something like that. It's right here. So I'm going to read that off first. It's only one page. But this is what it is, and I quote, this is what they're saying between each other. This is a conversation they had between each other. And again, I'll provide the link down below. Siphon says, "Many people hardly even know how Sally came to be. She was created by Sega while plotting the original fiction for the games. She became extremely popular when Dick Entertainment, a cookie jar now, made Sat-AM, and Sega even officially acknowledged that her and Sonic were in a relationship by using them at Sega World." This is Lewis's question to him, because they were doing a Q&A. Lewis was questioning, Siphon was answering. Lewis, this is his question, or LTH, this is his question. "Are those statues of both of them, Sonic and Sally, still there at Sega World in Sydney?" Siphon's answer: "Unfortunately, no. The theme park was demolished and the statues were removed after the park closed and was purchased by someone else. I've been trying to see if they were destroyed or sold. Chances are they were destroyed. Pity too. The value of them would be astronomical. Though SOJ, Sega of Japan, would probably do everything in their power to try and have them destroyed out of jealousy for the success of STI, while they continue to fail miserably. Or for the success of STI, while they, Sega of Japan, continue to fail miserably. Should have just left Sonic Team as Fantasy Team and made Sonic Team out of the developers at STI. But the Japanese have a misplaced superiority complex like that, but the Japanese have a misplaced superiority complex that, like other such egotistical notions, end in shame." Now, he doesn't mean that, now let me make something clear. He doesn't mean that for the Japanese people, he just makes it mean for the Japanese Sega Corporation, the Japan chapter of the Sega Corporation. Lewis is LTH's question. "What is STI?" Siphon's answer: "STI, or Sega Technical Institute, is a division of Sega of America, and are responsible for completing the unfinished Sonic 1, as well as full developments of Sonic 2, 3, and Knuckles, Spinball, Knuckles Chaotic, not entirely sure, this could have been done by Sega Europe, Heroes and Adventure 2, as well as several unreleased games, such as 16, Mars, Extreme, predecessor to the Rider series, Crackers, and Saturn. Many of the games that were not released used the character Sally Acorn in her Sat-AM and Sega World Sydney design style as either a protagonist, playable character, or support character. And since the character stemmed from the success of the American division of Sega rather than the failures of the Japanese division, all games featuring her or developed from STI were declined release simply because Sega head office felt the Japanese division are superior to everyone else, and the success of the American team and the failures of the Japanese team was an embarrassing blow to this image. Even though Adventure 2 was released because Adventure 1 was a failure due to the extreme shift in continuity, driving away many fans. The game was developed under extreme scrutiny of the Japan division. Adventure 2 and Heroes remain the only two Sonic games created by STI to be released after the ban on their games was put in place. Sorry for the rant, but I felt the more information the better. And this is Lewis's response to that in question. First of all, don't apologize because you're right. The more information the better. Where did you get this information? I'm amazed. Also, come to my DA page so we can speak more. Siphon's answer. Would love to. Unfortunately, I don't stay on DA very long. If I leave it running, the Windows keeps refreshing, which takes a lot of my memory and processor. As far as where I got my information, first I remember a lot of what happened when I was a kid, and since I was 8 when Sonic first came out, I still remember the Santa commercial for Sonic and Knuckles, and how dead early in the morning you had to wake up to catch Sat-AM, 6 in the morning where I lived. They ran it for maybe an hour, then never again for the rest of the day. But later I learned more of the internal politics by fact-checking what I know with what I didn't. The story of how the game came to be in the internal politics that turned a great series into a puddle of diarrhea is a long run with many analogs between what happened with certain characters. Believe it or not, Robotnik and Tails have more in common than you may think. And basically that's where it ends. So that's just basically the conversation, how the conversation ends right there. Now, speaking of LTH, Lewis the Hedgehog, he also has this called the Debating Gotcha Arguments Volume 1, and I will provide links to both these things down below. But this is what he said. This is basically debating the gotcha thing, and this is only about a page and a half, so here we go. This is his response. The stuff that's in quotations is stuff that he's read off, obviously, from other people, and his responses are afterwards. The first one, in quotations, is, "You're a purist." His response, "Is that all you got? Really?" What he's read. This is another part of what he's read. "But you wanted a dark story." His response. Lewis's response. "Ben could tell a dark story in ways that says life may be hard, but you'll be much happier in the end if you fight back rather than be oppressed. Ian tells a story in such a way that says life sucks, there's nothing you could do, so you might as well just throw yourself into a furnace. That was not the type of dark story we wanted." This is what he read from there. But Ian had plenty more chances to do what he accused him of wanting to do. Why would he wait till now? Lewis's, or LTH's, response to this. Because if my fears are correct, and if he's smart about this, he won't make it too obvious. What he's read from them. Quotated. What he's read from them. "But what if you're wrong?" His response, "But what if you're wrong?" This is what he read here. "But he has redeemed her character." LTH's response. "At what cost? He had her killed off, then brought back, only to sacrifice herself, saving everyone, only to then have who knows how much of her body parts swapped out. More like salvation through destruction, as the Reapers from Mass Effect put it." What he read from them. But what he quoted from them, I should say. "But Ian is a good writer." His answer, "To an extent, maybe. But I guess those constant Deus Ex endings are just my imagination. Or how is it sometimes it looks like he's about to give us what we wanted, only to then take it away just to keep the story going? Or is it just my imagination that too many things are going off screen? Or how was our hero constantly with that too cool for anything mentality, and that his tender apathetic side does not even exist?" What he quoted from them. It's not his fault, it's the mandates. LTH's response? Maybe it is, or maybe it's the only thing preventing him from being even more chaotic in his work, and he capitalizes more. What he quoted from them. But it's not like she was never roboticized before. His response. You honestly think that alone is the problem? Question. When was the last time her body has been abused, as in being carved up like a turkey with a blowtorch just to add weapons? If they went into any more detail in that scene, I personally believe kids should not be allowed to read it unless I wanted to give them nightmares. Even her roboticized body is not even hers anymore. I mean, this is right up with the Silence of the Lambs. And if that situation gave you pleasure, get help. Put it this way. Say Sega wanted to give Sonic a new look by chopping off all his limbs with a hatchet and replacing them with gun torrents and tank threads. Would you take onto that like a duck onto water? I don't think so. What LTH quoted from them. But it's not like she could feel it happening to her. LTH's response. Assuming that's even true, how does that make it any more right? Thinking back to my previous analog, it's like saying, but at least we used painkillers before we removed Sonic's limbs. And then he puts in parentheses. Update. I've just been informed that Robians can feel pain. Now this is truly sick. I mean seriously, what the hell are you trying to do to us, Ian? Get help. What he quoted from them. But Ian would not just leave us hanging. His response, LTH's response. I guess that's why he's shamelessly promoting Sonic at the Olympics and the crossover. Excuse me for a second. Okay, what was it? Oh, yeah. I guess that's why he's shamelessly promoting Sonic at the Olympics and the crossover at a time like this. Parentheses. Update. I just learned the Olympics was not Ian's idea. It was some stupid promotional thing Sega decided to shove down our throats. Not like most of the company cared about the fans anyway. They only care about the money. Sure, the pockets may be full, but the souls are empty. What he quoted from them. But there's more Sonic Sally art, being submitted than ever. In fact, in the fan art section, it's nothing but Sonic Sally art. How do you know? It's nothing more. Okay, it's nothing but Sonic Sally art. His response. How do you know that's not because they're scared? If Ian were trolling us, he's doing one hell of a job. He's doing one. If Ian were trolling us, was trolling us, okay, basically this is what you should have put, LTH. You should have said, if Ian was trolling us, he is doing one good job at it. Or he is doing one good job of it. Just to let you know, I don't want to correct anything you say, but to me that made more sense. Okay. What he quoted from the other people. But I've been a supporter of the Western Sonic for a long time. And this is LTH's response. And that justifies this. How? Why are you throwing all that history out the window? You should be demanding better. You of all people should know how much we've lost over the years. Why do you think it is wise to chance it now when we're on the knife edge? You honestly believe this is the only way forward? This could go either way. The franchise could finally be reborn and experienced in the way it always was meant to, or it could forever die. But who knows? You could be right, and one day we will look back on this and laugh. Or you'll be crying and we'll be crossing our arms saying that we told you so. Question is, how much are you willing to risk? Right now, everything is on the table. So just how lucky do you feel? Alright, and those are LTH's, Louis the Hedgehog's conversation and his and his, I guess his responses to some questions people had about the comics, so about what's going on in the comics and such. So I'll provide the links down below. Let me know what you guys think. Video response if you like, and I'll talk to y'all later.